5 most common mistakes when taking a funding challenge. So number 1 for me would be actually having a defined edge, and an edge that you're confident in, that you have data on, that can back it up. And the thing as traders is the only thing we really have is data. That's the only thing we can actually go on and gives us confidence in trading. But if you don't have a system at all, it's going to be very difficult for you to actually trade in the first place. So you do need a system that's tried and tested, that works over a period of data, how the stops can get bigger in some months, get smaller in other months, market volatility, different things. I have a large sample size of data that I can then construct my edge out of, create my rules, create my checklist, and I can then use and implement that in the market. If you do not have one of these, if you've watched one video or you're following someone on Twitter or Instagram and you are looking at their posts and you are going, yep, I know what they're doing, I'm going to replicate that, let's go, you are going to fail over and over and over again. And if this is you, stop. Ask yourself, have you actually done the work? Do you have a system that if we were to jump on a call and I said, show me what you're looking for, you would show me the same thing over and over again? Or would every time, would your system change? Would it differ? Would it have tons of discretion? And would you yourself actually have confidence in it to trade it with 7 figures? Because everybody here has the potential to gain 7 figures in funding capital with ease. It's not actually that difficult. Once you've got a system and you've got yourself in check, it's just about repeating the process, being consistent, and you'll get there. But when you get there, you don't then want to have all these battles of, oh, I'm not actually that confident, I've kind of fluked my way here, I don't really know what I'm doing. You want to be more confident in that system than ever. You want to be so confident that if you're going long and you go on Twitter and the whole of Twitter's going short, you won't change your bias because you believe in your system. So I want to ask you, if you are trading, do you believe in your system that well? Do you have an edge? Have you got data on it? You don't have to tell me, but you have to ask yourself the question, because if you haven't, you have no business going for a funding challenge in any way, shape or form, and that is one of the biggest reasons why the stats are so high for people failing. Number 2, you would think, is common sense. However, nowadays, I do think some people lack common sense, and this is just due to the fact that people don't read the rules of these challenges. You need to know, is your challenge an equity-based or a balance-based drawdown? Many people, I've had so many DMs over the years where people have gone, hey bro, I took this trade and somehow I violated a rule, what did I do? And whether that's because you traded through news, whether that's because you held overnight, whether that's because you held over the weekend, whether that's because you had equity, you were in profit and it pulled back 5% and the equity went, whether you hadn't looked at the daily loss, whatever it might be, check the rules and understand the rules before you go and take that first trade, because it's all well and good having this euphoria moment of, oh my god, I want to put a trade on, I'm going to be a funded trader, and it's great that you back yourself, but if you don't even know the rules that you're playing within, then what if you do slip up? What if you do make a mistake? You can blame the prop firm, and I see people all the time going, the prop firm's rubbish, this prop firm did this prop firm did that. Okay, but did they tell you the rules before you bought it? Well, yeah, but I didn't look at that. That's a you problem. Again, self-accountability. You need to be accountable and put your hands up and go, you know what? I was so obsessed with just making fat bags that I didn't actually look at the rules, and therefore I messed up. It's the same with live accounts. People sign the contracts, they've never read them, and then when they do something, they'll refer to it and go, section 4.2 of this says this, and you're like, I didn't know that. It's the prop firm's fault. Well, it's not, because they sent you the contract. You just didn't read it, so it's your fault. So again, take accountability. I know it's a very obvious one, but you'll be amazed how many people do not check the rules on these things. Always read things. I know it might be long-winded, but you need to be treating this as a business. Number 3 would be, have you actually managed to make the profit target consistently? Have you perhaps tried one of the free trials or on a live account? Have you made 8 or 10%, which is the usual rate for passing one of these challenges? Have you done that consistently, and have you done it with just a one-hit wonder trade, and it's happened once and you've gone, I've completed it, mate. Fat bags on way, and you go and buy a challenge? Because if you've only done it like that, again, this goes back to the data thing, there's a likelihood is that could have been a fluke. I could get my 6-year-old daughter to come in the room, ask her if I should buy or sell, and she'd probably get it right a few times, and she has absolutely no understanding of the financial markets. This is where, again, many go wrong. They may implement something, they may take a trade, it's nothing to do with the system, it's just a bit of luck. They fluked it and they think they've completed it, and then they go and take on a challenge, they lose, but then they're in the loop and it becomes an addiction where they just keep on buying challenges. And before you know it, you could be 3, 4, 5, 6k in challenges, but you keep buying them. You'd have been better off investing that into yourself, into your mindset, into your education, or even putting it into a personal account. At least you'd have had more attempts to trade it. However, you just keep going, this one will be different, this one will be different, this one will be different. But have you actually changed, altered, or fixed any of the issues that were causing you that problem in the first place? So again, having this kind of awareness of, can I actually hit the target, or am I hoping to fluke it? If that means to hit the target, just for challenges, you have to increase your risk slightly, then that's fine. I myself risk 1%. When I'm in profit of 3% plus, I'll start risking 1.5% just so that I can hit the target, because then it's easier, it's job done. I'd rather risk more than take more trades on lower time frames focusing on more R, because with that comes more losses. It depends on your trade plan, it depends on your setups, it depends on your checklist, it depends if you're comfortable with that. Just because I do that doesn't mean you should do that. A common question I get is, how much do you risk per trade? Why does it matter? Number 4 would be mindset, psychology. I don't think enough people still to this day put emphasis on that, and a lot of people are broken. They have a broken mind and they think trading will fix it, and they believe that if they get that one payout that it's going to fix everything. However, the statistics show that most people that get that big payout will lose their account. The stats do not lie. Most people blow accounts up if they get it passed, and the stats are not in the favour of many passing. However, those that do, and those that keep the accounts, have a long-term vision, and they understand themselves, and they have good psychology. And you don't realise that trading will test you more than anything you've probably ever been tested through before. And what you don't also realise is that trading isn't exactly essentially unlocking anything you didn't already have. It's just exposing those psychological issues to you in a much more broader sense, because trading will do that. It will make you feel scared. It will make you fearful. It will make you feel greedy. It will get you stressed out. It's not good for the mindset that we bring to trading. It's all wrong. Our belief systems, our behavioural patterns, our self-image, everything is so poorly wired to trade that if you do not fix your mind in the first place and understand why you're sabotaging these things, because a lot of it is self-sabotage. People will be winning and they will find a way to give back the profits. Whether their ego gets in control, and ego is the enemy, it will take control. It will say to you, you're better than this, you can make more R, just take that next trade, you're on a winning streak, you've got this, and you'll start to deviate from your plan. And if you look in your journal, and I hope all of you are journaling, you'll see that most of the bad trades you take and most of the trades that put you in drawdown usually stem from a period of self-sabotage. That can stem from an identity issue where you don't believe that you are worthy of wealth, and your identity is someone that thinks they're fluking their way there. So you will naturally find a way to give that money back, or give that wealth back, or ruin the opportunities in front of you, because your image and your identity is wrong. You have to go on an image correction, and you have to become the person who is already wealthy. You have to believe that you can obtain wealth before you even obtain it. You have to believe it. Like if I said to you, don't touch that fire because it will burn you, most of you watching understand that that's true. That is a true belief system in your head, that fire is hot, it burns. Do you all watching this believe that you uphold the identity of someone that can truly become wealthy? And I'm not saying stand in the mirror and affirm to yourself, I'm wealthy, because your mind's not stupid and your mind will call you out and go, no, you're not, why are you lying? You need to truly believe it and become that person before it even happens, and then before you know it, it will just happen. You have to understand the scale of opportunity for us traders now is mental. And if you yourself are going to hold yourself back through sabotage, through thinking that 1k, 2k a month is a lot, yes, it's a lot, but in the scheme of trading, it's actually nothing. When you're trading 7 figures, your stop loss is going to be around $10,000. Are you ready for that? Have you actually thought about that? Have you even managed £1,000 yet? Have you managed 10k yet? It's all well and good going, oh yeah, I'm just going to get a 100k account and try it out. But if you can't manage 100 quid or 1,000 quid, how are you going to manage 100,000? And again, it's an identity issue. Do you believe you can even do that? Are you trying to run away from your problems? Are you thinking that trading will fix all your problems? Because it won't. It will expose them to you in a much greater way than anything else, and it will truly test you. And I believe it's why many give up, because they don't have the drive or the vision. They don't have the passion for it. They're simply doing it from a space of, I want to make a load of money, yet their identity and image is broke. They don't have an edge. They don't have a system. They don't believe in what they're doing. And they quite frankly just go from community to community, or system to system, or video to video, moaning and crying that they're not getting anywhere when they are the problem. So my biggest takeaway from that is invest in yourself. It is the most important thing in this whole game. If you are unable to do these things on a regular basis, if you are unable to control and regulate your emotions and know when certain things are about to happen and be self-aware enough to prevent them from taking control, no matter how good a system you have technically, you will always find a way to mess it up. So make sure you are not being one of these people that think mindset's a scam, and you are truly asking yourself, why are you not where you want to be? And I guarantee you it's because you are broken and you need to fix that. It's nothing to do with your technicals, it's you. Last but not least, number 5 would be most people rush to take the first trade, and what you've done with that is you've then gone, right, I've started the challenge. But now if there's no trades for the next week or 2 weeks, you're just losing time, and as the deadline gets closer, you then FOMO, you take poor quality trades, and before you know it, you're in drawdown. And now you're scampering around, going against plan, just to try and get back to break even, to do the break even dance to get a retry. Wait for a low risk, high quality setup to appear. Take that setup, start it like that. Do not start it just by getting it and going boom. Because all you're doing then is adding pressure. For me, I would use all the time you have. Yes, 30 days in a challenge can be long-winded, but there's no rush. There's a reason the time limit is there. Use it, okay? Some have trading days, some don't. But don't let that fool you, because again, it's human psychology. There are funding companies now that say, oh, there's no trading days. You can pass in one day and get verification in one day. All that's doing is playing on human emotion, because people will go, I can pass in one day. I can get that payout even quicker. I'm one step closer to the payout. Right, I know, I'm going to take a trade-off plan. I'm going to go mental. I'm going to over-risk. And before you know it, boom, you've blown the account up, they've benefited. You have to understand all this stuff is a play on human emotion. Saying you don't have any trading days, all that's doing is making the majority of us go, I can pass even quicker. Whoa, let's go. Most also offer 4 or 5% profit depending on the firm. If you're at that before the last 3 or 4 days of the challenge, they give you an extension of 2 weeks. So worst case, you only need to aim for 5% within like a 3-week period, and then you're going to get an extension of 2 weeks. You may not need it, but you've got the extension. Then that gives you around nearly 50 days to pass a challenge. So use all these requirements necessary. Don't just let people on social media be like, I passed in one trade, I'm the GOAT, how to pass a challenge in 10 seconds. That's completely irrelevant, polluting your mind because you're seeing other people's highlight reels. Focus on yourself. That is one of the biggest takeaways. Focus on you, work on you. There is an absolutely incredible opportunity out there, and I truly believe every single person watching this can be a 7-figure funded trader by the end of this year. But you've got to ask yourself, do you actually want it? And if you want it, why do you want it? And what are you going to do about it? Because if you're just going to keep doing the same things every day, refusing to accept the responsibility is you and no one else, you're never going to get there. And then you're going to become the statistic that turns around and goes, it's not for me, it doesn't work. And that is why the stats are so high. This is a business. Treat it as a business. Do not treat this as some little game. It is a proper business. You are dealing with large sums of money, and you are dealing with your own emotion and your own life. You have an incredible opportunity in front of you. Stop wasting it because you want to look fancy online, or you can't be bothered to do the work, or because you're lazy. Best advice, if that's who you are and you don't want to change, just leave and go and do something else. Stick to whatever it is that you're doing and just stop putting yourself through the pain. But if you actually want to change, ask yourself, what could you change? It's the end of Q1. You should all be auditing yourself on Q1 on your performance, just like a business would. I hope you're all doing that. Audit your performance in trading, your habits, discipline, the consistency, whatever areas of life. Audit, look at the lessons, learn from the lessons. That's why they're there. Don't look at the negatives, look at the positives, flip the perspective. What happened? What can I learn from this? Move into Q2 in a positive manner with those lessons on board, and let's see how much you grow. Incremental small steps will lead to massive consistent results, and they will compound over time. Stop looking for that secret magical hack that's going to skip all that and get you to the top. If there was one, I promise you more people would have found it and more people would do it. There isn't. No one's going to call you up and invite you to the club one day and go, hey bro, do you want the cheat codes? You have to go and do the work. On that note, thanks for watching. Hope the video helps. If you can like and subscribe, I appreciate it. Catch you all in the next one. Peace and love, gang.